Hey everybody, welcome back to AndyLaVGC, where today we're finally going to do it. I'm going to get angry about Pokemon that they really just have everything going for them, and that makes me angry. Does that make sense? These Pokemon are so good and have just so many things going for them that it really feels like they have everything. Like, obviously they have shortcomings, but they are such small shortcomings that aren't even really shortcomings a lot of the time. So, today, we're going to get angry. Let's jump right into it. We're starting off today, of course, with everybody's favorite poster child of Generation 9 VGC. We've got Flutter Maine. Alright, look. This Pokemon, first of all, has some of the most min-max stats I've ever seen. 135 special attack, 135 speed. Insane. These are insane numbers to have in both of these stats. And you might be telling yourself, oh, but it's so frail. Like, any physical attack will knock it out. No! No. Okay? And you know why? You know why? Because these special attack and the speed are so goddamn high that you don't even need to invest in them a lot to do things. Now, obviously, like, this has been taken advantage of in, like, a million ways, okay? You can run a faster build with just a little bit of special attack investment and run, like, a choice specs and get, like, photosynthesis speed in the sun. You can run booster energy, do photosynthesis speed. You can do, like, one with just enough speed to outspeed things and then, like, go modest. You do not need to even be timid to outspeed everything else in the format that isn't named Iron Bundle. It's kind of stupid. It's so dumb. Not only does it have these ridiculous stats, it has an item that might as well be its exclusive item. Nobody else ever uses this item unless you're, I mean, obviously, you know, you've got Iron Bundle, and sometimes you get, like, Roaring Moon and stuff, but they really aren't all that common in, you know, regular VGC these days. This might as well just be, you know, Flutter Maine's item. Basically, Booster Energy can either be a free Life Orb or a free Choice Scarf with no drawback. The drawback is that if you switch out, you lose it, which might as well not be a drawback 90% of the time. So literally, you have this Pokemon with these insane stats, and it might as well be an exclusive item that makes it even better, and then it has a great move pool. Like, it also has a great move pool, okay? You can run a Combine set if you really want to. I don't know why you would, but you get Dazzling Gleam. So you get Fairy coverage, you get Ghost coverage, which will hit just about everything for at least neutral damage. And then you also get Mystical Fire, and you get Energy Ball, I think. Do you not get Energy Ball? You do. You get Energy Ball. Terra Grass Flutter Maine is a thing. That's so stupid. You get Icy Wind, so it can be Booster Energy Speed, and then it can be Speed Control. And fun fact, Regieleki's not on this list because it's bad now, because Flutter Maine with a Booster Energy is faster than Regieleki. It's been one generation, and Regieleki got Speed creeped, and the only thing it does. Ridiculous. Ridiculous. And, you know, you get, like, Power Gem, you get Psychic coverage, you get everything. You get everything. You get all the coverage you could ever want. And not only do you get that, your typing is so good. Ghost Fairy is such a good typing. Literally, Mimikyu topped a regional this season because it was Ghost Fairy, and everybody went, well, if Flutter Maine's so good, then Mimikyu. It has the same typing. So Flutter Maine has, the only thing really holding back is the ability, but you have your free item that might as well be your item that makes the ability good. If Booster Energy didn't exist, I'm convinced that Photosynthesis would be like a stupid bad ability, but we have Booster Energy. They said you can, GameFreak said let there be Booster Energy, and now there's Booster Energy. And now Flutter Maine and Iron Bundle get to be faster than Regieleki with no drawbacks. Stupid. Dumb. Outright stupid. Alright? So we've got our exclusive item. We've got an amazing typing. We've got one of the most min-max stat spreads ever. We've got crazy move coverage. Like GameFreak designed this Pokemon and they went, "Oh, this is her. This is the Pokemon this generation." Flutter Maine, I don't think Flutter Maine's ever going to go away. If Flutter Maine exists, it will be good in the format that it's in. Forever. Forever and ever. Flutter Maine is just good forever now. And I don't know if I like that. I hope it's not in the next generation. But they have a really, it's not a legendary Pokemon, but for all intents and purposes, it might as well be a legendary Pokemon. And they do this thing where every generation, all the legendary Pokemon have to come back. So we will never get to have a full generation, without Regieleki ever again. We'll never get to have a full generation without some of these other Pokemon on this list ever again. And they'll just keep coming back forever. Okay. That one went on a little bit longer than maybe it should have, but that's okay. Let's move on. Mungus. Mungus is the only Pokemon that gets to click Spore with no drawbacks. That's not the only thing that it does. We'll get there. But Mungus is the only Pokemon that gets to click the only 100% accurate Sleep move with no drawbacks. Okay? Every single other Pokemon that learns Spore has a crazy, ridiculous drawback and is bad because they can't click Spore the same way Mungus can. Mungus is the only Pokemon that gets to click Spore with no drawback. This move is so good that they made a whole brand new ability just to nerf Toedscruel and Toedscool so they could not click Fast Spore. Mungus gets to just do it. Mungus gets to just do it, okay? Now you can say, "Oh, but Mungus is slow. It has, base 30 speed. It's not a good Pokemon." First of all, base 30 speed is not a drawback. Base 30 speed is just about as low as speed stats get, and that's very good for Trick Room. It's also very good for countering Trick Room, okay? It's also, sometimes it's advantageous to go second when you click Spore because then your opponent, you're guaranteed that your opponent cannot move the next turn. Now, not always. Sometimes you'd rather they don't move this turn, but that's neither here nor there, okay? So we have super busted move. We, in fact, have a very busted move pool as well. We get Clear Smog. We get Foul Play. We get Pollen Puff. We get Redirection from Rage Powder. We can also run like Leaf Storm or Grass Knot. We can run Toxic, and it won't miss because we are Poison type. Very, very busted supporting move pool because it can heal your partner. It can put things to sleep. And it can redirect with basically no drawbacks. Unless you're fighting a grass type. But guess what? You resist grass 4 times. Mungus does not care about grass types. What else does it do? It gets to heal for free every time it switches out. It gets to heal for free every time it switches out. Why? And also, why haven't we been allowed to have a format without Mungus since it was introduced in Generation 5? Literally, since this Pokemon was introduced, it has been available in, the regional decks of every single Pokemon game. Can we get a break? Can we have a format without Mungus, please? Just one, or maybe a whole generation without Mungus? That'd be cool. But no. GameFreak said, "Oh, we want to make Brute Bonnet, so you get to have Mungus again. You get to have Mungus again." No, I don't want Mungus again. I want to have to use something else. Now, it's gonna sound like I'm a child, okay? I'm not mad that these Pokemon are good. Good Pokemon can exist and be good. I'm okay with that. You can use good Pokemon to elevate Pokemon that are maybe not so good, okay? That's not the point. The point is that every once in a while, I would like to not have these Pokemon. And that's why I am a fan of, limited Pokedexes. Because sometimes you get to have formats with all these Pokemon, and they're great. and then they come back. And then you remember that when we have like a lot of these really good Pokemon available, it's just everybody has the same team of 6 Pokemon. And obviously, I know they're trained differently. They can have different moves and all of that stuff. But when you're trying to grind out games on Pokemon Showdown or on the in-game ladder, and every single team preview is the same 6 Pokemon, it wears on your soul, okay? It's not like I'm mad that we have formats with them and like every tournament is like the top 6 Pokemon. Every team is just top 6 good stuff. Like, that's fine. That can happen. People enjoy formats like that, and that's okay. But even as a competitive Pokemon player who understands that these are pieces that you can put on your team and like they can help you use Pokemon that are maybe not so good, sometimes facing big 6 good stuff every single game just drives me up the goddamn wall. And Mungus is one of those Pokemon. Mungus is available in every generation since it was introduced, and it is one of those Pokemon that just drives me up the wall because I'm tired of seeing it, and I really hope it's not in Generation 10. And that's all I have to say about Mungus, except also its stats are really good. It has a really high HP stat, and these are like not even low stats. Like 70 defense, 80 special defense. It has really high HP and like middle of the road defense and special defense, but since it has really high HP, they might as well be normal like defense and special defense, if that makes sense. Moving on. Ursifu. Specifically Ursifu Rapid Strike, though Dark Ursifu can also fall in this category depending on what format you're talking about. In Generation 8, I didn't mind Ursifu so much. It really didn't bother me. In fact, I used Ursifu a lot. Mostly because I played a lot of Colossal teams, but I used Ursifu a lot. Okay? Here's the deal. Without Dynamax, Ursifu is so good. In fact, if Flutter Maine didn't exist, I'm convinced that Ursifu would probably be the best Pokemon in Pokemon right now. And it's only not because Flutter Maine and Mungus exist. If those 2 Pokemon did not exist, I think Ursifu would be the best Pokemon in Pokemon right now. Let's talk about it. First of all, look at its stats. 130 attack is massive. 97 speed is not crazy, but it's fast enough to get the job done. And also, you outspeed Landorus Therian by 1 point, which is very important because Landorus Therian is a very good Pokemon. It's not on this list because Landorus Therian, I feel like, has also been power creeped. It almost always has to Terrasilize, and that's why I feel like it doesn't belong on this list because it's I don't know. Any Pokemon that needs to Terrasilize every time it hits the field doesn't belong on this list, and that's where I'm falling on this subject. Anyway, really its worst stat is its special defense, and like, yeah, it's 60, but you can get around it with like Focus Sash or Assault Vest or whatever you want to do, especially now with Terrasilization. You can get rid of your fighting type weakness and eat a Moonblast with no investment, which is stupid. Anyway, the next thing. This Pokemon has 2 really, really strong things going for it, okay? It has an ability that says that all of its contact moves ignore Protect. Straight up do not care about Protect. Now, they don't break Protect, which is nice. If they broke Protect, it'd be even stupider. But you just ignore Protect. And Protect is one of the most important moves in VGC, if not the most important move in VGC. It's so important for positioning. You do not position in front of Ursifu. You try your best to not lose a Pokemon in front of Ursifu, unless you have something that's faster than it. Or you have an Mungus, okay? This Pokemon, already, no items, it gets to ignore Protect, and it always has a critical hit. Do you know what critical hits do? First of all, they do a little bit extra damage. Now, this isn't a super strong move. It hits 3 times, so it's basically like a base 75 power move. After critical hits, I think it hits like 100, which is about the same as Wicked Blow. Actually, I think they nerfed Wicked Blow. They nerfed it to... What did they make Wicked Blow? Because it should be the same. 75. Okay, so it's the same. That's right. I don't know why I would think it was, yeah. It makes it about a base 100 power move, I think. So, you have a base 100 power move that hits, that ignores, might as well ignore Focus Sash, basically, is the point that we're getting at here. So you ignore Focus Sash, you ignore Protect, you ignore Stat Boost, because that's what critical hits do. You ignore your own stat drops. Basically, this Pokemon just looks at everything that's very common in VGC and says, I don't do that. I don't want to play with those things. We're just going to pretend like they don't exist. And that's why Ursifu feels like it has everything going for it. Because Surging Strikes is a water type move. And yes, there are Pokemon that resist. Obviously, we have a Mungus, okay? We have Storm Drain. But water's a pretty good, like, neutral typing. Like, really just water, grass, and dragon resist water type moves. And it hits neutral and everything else. And let me tell you that dragon's not a very common defensive type in VGC. And then water, of course, is. And so is grass. But it gets other moves. Ursifu doesn't just have Surging Strikes, okay? You get Close Combat. You get Priority Move in the form of Aqua Jet, which is very important. Priority moves are crazy good. You get U-Turn. You get Ice Spinner now. As of this generation, you get Poison Jab. You get Rock Slide. You get Thunder Punch. So you can hit all those Pokemon too if you want. And all of these are contact moves, which will also ignore Protect. And I don't know. Ursifu just it's a little princess who has everything going for it. And that makes me sad sometimes. Because when my opponent leads Qian Pao Ursifu and I literally can't do anything about it, I have to rethink my whole team. And that's not very nice. I'm sorry that I'm coughing, but for some reason, my voice is trying to stop working on me. Alright, next up we have Iron Hands, the other Paradox Pokemon who has everything going for him. Okay? The only thing Iron Hands does not have going for it is the ability. Okay? Literally the only thing, because Electric Terrain is not good. But later on, listen. At some point, we're going to get Miraidon and or Tapu Koko. And Quark Drive is going to become a stupid ability. It's going to become a ridiculous ability. Iron Hands is as good as it is, despite having an ability that basically does nothing most of the time. Alright? You think about that. If Iron Hands had, like, Guts, like Hariyama does, or it had, I don't know, like, would be Iron Fist would probably make a lot of sense. If Iron Hands had, like, Iron Fist, it'd be an even stupider Pokemon. But instead, it basically doesn't have an ability on most teams, and it's still super good. Okay? Let's look at its stats first. Let's start there. HP, 154 HP is a lot. And yes, you only have 68 defense, but you can go ahead and just invest all your EVs into it, because you don't really need to invest that much HP. You have a base 154 HP, and you have base 108 defense. That's pretty good. You don't really need to invest a whole lot into that. And you have base 140 attack. That's more than Ursifu. That is more attack than Flutter Maine has special attack. 140 attack. So really, you don't even need to invest that much into its attack either. So you can just go ahead and put all your EVs into special defense so that you live hits, and it's like you have a good special defense stat. Right? What a happy time. Okay? And then the moves. This Pokemon gets number one fake out offense. It gets like one of the number one VGC moves. It gets fake out. Fake out is very good. But on top of fake out, you also get close combat. You get Heavy Slam, which is really good right now. You get Ice Punch. You get Thunder Punch. You get Wild Charge. Really, Iron Hands has so many moves that it wants to run that you can really only ever guess like 2 out of its 4 moves at any given time. Sometimes you can get the other ones, but Volt Switch is really cool for like pivoting. Slow pivot Pokemon are amazing, guys. Okay? Do not sleep on the slow pivot Pokemon. Iron Hands is one of them, and it's really good. Because it can run Volt Switch for some reason. Oh no! Usually it runs an Assault Vest, so that whole investing special defense thing, even better. Usually it's more specially defensive than it is defensive. Which is kind of crazy. But on top of all of that, it's just... It's kind of... The problem's kind of, like, accentuated? That's not the right word. The problem is made worse, kind of by terrestrialization, because instead of getting to be a fighting type who is weak to Flutter Maine, Iron Hands can just terrestrialize and no longer be a fighting type that is weak to Flutter Maine, which makes it even better. But also, you know, all of it can just be really bulky things. Drain Punch, it gets like recovery, which is like crazy. I feel like my thoughts are not super aligned on Iron Hands, but Iron Hands is gonna probably go down as one of the best VGC Pokemon ever. Okay. Like, even more so than Flutter Maine, because Flutter Maine is on every team, but it doesn't necessarily go on every team. You can slap an Iron Hands on literally any kind of team, and it will be good. Literally, you could take 3 of the Pokemon that are on this list right now, make half of a team those 3 Pokemon, and then just run, like, 3 attackers, and that would be the team. And one of those Pokemon would be Iron Hands. Hands down. A Mungus, Iron Hands, Pokemon that we're going to get to in a minute here. Bam, that's a team. Already you have a good team. Put whatever else you want into the other 3 Pokemon. It doesn't matter. Throw a Palafin on there. I don't care. Like, it's dumb. Iron Hands is probably going to go down as one of the best VGC Pokemon ever. Next up, we have Cresselia. And Cresselia has gotten even worse this generation. But Cresselia has always been crazy. It has 120 HP and then 110 defense and 120 special defense. It actually got nerfed this generation, and it is still the premier Trick Room setter. Not only is it the premier Trick Room center with its... Okay, no. Think about this, okay? Dusclops has this much special defense and defense. It has 120. Dusclops has like 60 HP. Cresselia is Dusclops if Dusclops had 120 HP. And that's insane. You have Levitate, which is really good. You're immune to ground-type moves, which does come in handy a lot. And then the move pool. It has a crazy, crazy, crazy support move pool, okay? You get Ally Switch, okay? Insane. You get Ice Beam, which is really good coverage. Helps you deal with Landorus, which, again, is not on this list because it gets checked too hard by everybody else on this list. You get Icy Wind for speed control. You, I believe, get Light Screen and Reflect, yes, if you want to do that. You get Moonlight to heal yourself, but you don't run Moonlight anymore. No, no, no. Because now you get Lunar Blessing, which heals you and your buddy. And your status conditions. Stupid. Dumb. Why did they do that? You get skill swaps. You can give your friend Levitate, which is kind of crazy. Obviously, you get Trick Room. All sorts of crazy, crazy support moves. Cresselia gets them. Cresselia is like one of 3 Ally Switch users in Scarlet and Violet, and it's seen use. Even with Ally Switch being nerfed, Ally Switch is still a good move. Stupid. Crazy. Cresselia doesn't... I don't feel Cresselia as much. It's really annoying when you can't knock it out. And that's really what's annoying about Cresselia. It doesn't, like, invalidate other Pokemon. I guess it invalidates other Trick Room setters, kind of, but not to the degree of some of these other guys. I don't know. It feels like it has everything going for it. And that's why it's on the list. That's what this list is about. Incineroar. Now, Incineroar is not in Scarlet and Violet yet, okay? And in fact, is the only Pokemon on this list that is not in Scarlet and Violet. But I had to put it on here. Because Incineroar might as well be like the mascot of VGC, okay? Incineroar is the single best support Pokemon they have ever made. Let me tell you why. Incineroar, it gets everything. It gets everything, okay? It has 90 HP, 90 defense, 90 special defense. That's pretty good. Usually you get to have like 1 or 2 of those be at 90 and then everything else is trash. No, it gets to have all 3. It gets the best ability for a support Pokemon. It gets Intimidate. It says your attack stat be dropping, okay? And then its move pool is insane. Now, obviously, the move pool is not here because I am in Regulation D. But let's go to... We're going to assume that its move pool is going to be pretty similar to the Dex move pool. It gets all of the coverage it could ever want. It gets Fire, Dark, Ground, Fighting. It probably gets Thunder Punch. It probably gets like all the punching moves. Yes, it does. It gets Will-O-Wisp. You get Fake Out. You get U-Turn. You get Darkest Lariat, which ignores stat changes, including accuracy, or well, not your including evasion, by the way. You get Cross Chop. Well, not Cross Chop. I'm looking for Throat Chop. You get Throat Chop. You get Lash Out. You get everything. You get everything. And on top of all of that, you also get Parting Shot. So remember how we were talking about how like slow pivots were good with Iron Hands? Well, slow pivots are really good. And Incineroar would be doing that too. Except it gets to do it and lower your stats at the same time. Why? Why? This Pokemon won the World Championships the generation before they made it even better with Parting Shot. Why did they do that? They're watching them give it like Howl or something this generation. I'm going to lose my mind. They're going to give it like something really stupid this generation. It also gets like Snarl and stuff. I don't know. Incineroar is the single Pokemon. It has so much roll compression built into it that to do Incineroar's job right now, you need like 2 or 3 Pokemon. When we get Incineroar back, Incineroar does all those things by itself. And any other support you want to run is like icing on the cake, okay? That's how good Incineroar is. Ridiculous. The last Pokemon on this list, I know the video is getting kind of long. I wasn't expecting it to be this long, but the last Pokemon on this list is Charizard. And Charizard is not here because it's especially a good Pokemon. Its stats are fine. Its ability is fine. Charizard is here because Charizard feels like the Pokemon Company's special little baby boy who just gets to be good all the time because everybody loves Charizard. And that just grinds my gears. It doesn't actually have everything going for it, but it gets to be given additional things that make its life a lot easier because it's the Pokemon. It's everybody's little baby boy, and they need to stop. They need to stop making it so good. It's not just here. It's the TCG. Every Charizard card, it tries so hard to be like an amazing card and like have amazing artwork and everything. I don't know. Charizard just bugs me because it's too popular, and I'm sorry, Charizard. You probably don't deserve it, but there you go. That's it. Those are all the Pokemon that I think, at least right now, maybe my opinions will change later, they feel like they have everything going for them. They're probably too good. Are there any Pokemon that you feel like I missed? Obviously, I didn't include Landorus or Regieleki or like Iron Bundle, but that's because I feel like they're being kind of suppressed by these specific Pokemon. Now, Iron Bundle has the problem that it doesn't have any accurate moves, which is, you know, its problem, and Landorus right now, it gets hurt so hard by Ursifu that it's really hard to run it if you're not just going to terrestrialize it every game. And Regieleki is now not the fastest thing alive because we have Iron Bundle and Flutter Maine, so it can't even do its job. I don't know. It's hard. It's hard. The poster childs of Gen 8 VGC have already been power crept, at least some of them, which is kind of crazy. But yeah, with that, everybody, if you like this video, make sure you leave me a big fat like. Leave me a comment. Tell me what you want to see in the future. If you are all the way at the end of this video and you're not subscribed, what are you doing? Subscribe. It's like a 30-minute video. Just subscribe. And with that, everybody, my name is Andrew. I'll catch you guys next time.
Flutter Maine, Flutter Maine, Flutter Maine, Flutter Maine, Flutter Maine, Flutter Maine, Flutter Maine. Making big reads in my flutter brain. EV's giving me flutter gains. Play it on rain, call it Flutter Rain. Get what you run a flutter train. Boss so smooth like a butter Maine. Flutter Maine, Flutter Maine, Flutter Maine. Flutter Maine, Flutter Maine, Flutter Maine, Flutter Maine, Flutter Maine, Flutter Maine, Flutter Maine. Making big reads in my flutter brain. EV's giving me flutter gains. Play it on rain, call it Flutter Rain.